steal your... I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Now the dynamics in this room have changed, and I'm going to explain. The dynamics have changed. Allow me to welcome, in a very special way, Ola Seve. Due to time constraints, he won't be with us for long. Right? So he will take the podium and brief us on whatever. And I hope you'll continue to be a wonderful audience. And after that, he will leave. And we'll be very sad to let go of him. Ola Seve, the stage is yours.
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing for sure, and I'm not saying this because I'm here. Vandaag. It's Coke, of course, you pep every now and then. I was born 1977, the 24th of April. And if I'm not making a mistake, Bantu Stephen Biko died October 27th, the same year. I'm not sure, you know. Basically, personally, Biko is more like my favorite of all, politicians, because I believe in a simple logic, which when the sun sets at west, it rises in the east. He was killed, unfortunately, and some of us were born, and we carried on the struggle. We're talking about the time here whereby my mom was pregnant, and she was ducking bullets and had to go to work with me in her tummy. Now, Biko didn't know me, but he had to fight for me, right? And unfortunately, he had to die for me. Understand? Not that he's a messiah, but then again, it's what we call a martyr, if we would in English, is a Vuga. Understand? Some of the few brothers who sacrificed a lot of things, had their wives beaten up, had their kids chucked from one place to another, just to liberate their country. Now, some are alive today, reaping some of those fruits, living in nice houses and stuff and getting all the credit. But basically, a lot of brothers had to die so that the white carpet had to be turned red so that some of us can walk on it very comfortably, And Bantu Stephen Biko's blood is one of the very few bloods that had to dye that carpet from white to red. Thus you and I walk on the red carpet, Vandaag, as black liberated people. Understand? I just saw that kid over there. I used to tease her like Hela School and went through the same school at Jablante. Basically, I was a very troublesome kid. I was very angry. I used to, get into fights and stuff. I remember one day I picked up a technical drawing chair, attacked my Zulu teacher, and I knocked her out because she'd said something about my mother, which wasn't very comfortable. And I had a fight with my mom in the same morning. You know what I'm saying? I was a very violent kid. But there was a teacher called Mrs. Tegere at school who saw that, no man, there's nothing wrong with these kids, they just need attention. So she introduced us to something called the Family Life Center. Family Life Center was more like a rehab kind of a project to help some of the violent kids at school sort of like cope with whatever the problems they had. So we had to talk about family problems and stuff, and we were encouraged to wear actual full school uniform, and so we went to Chablan Tech. We didn't like the idea, but come to think of it, being in a class dressed all the same already puts you on an equal level. So you compete in terms of during break, but academically it's another story, because usually the poorest kids are the ones who are smartest and scared, understand? So you know what I'm saying? So like scared has always been a weapon, and Abu Biko, as way back in the days as it was, where my brothers were still living, in the mines and stuff. These are some of the most few liberated and really educated black brothers who saw the whole vision with maybe South Africa can be freed, as impossible as it is said, which, one day we'll rule the country. It's possible, and they sacrificed their lives, and here we are, Vandaag. I was like, this is the time when I really had huge problems at home, and I wasn't coping in school. But then again, one thing I could do best, I was good at debating, I was good at English, and I was a damn good SRC. The rest didn't make sense to me. Now, a company came to our school trying to shoot a film which was called Teens on a Tightrope, and I ended up with the role. I was playing like I was actually a rapist. Unfortunately, some of us have such faces that you only get certain roles. Shoot people all the time, and you never be a computer profit. And then after that, I'd like to confess that I did officially walk out of high school, because as far as I was concerned, nobody made sense. I was bored. Went to college. See, if you go for if you're in a technical school, you can easily move on to college and do entry and move on. But instead of going for technical courses, I went for anthropology, which was more like the study of African people and where they come from and where they're going. And even then, I walked out because the whole thing didn't make sense of going to school, because I was a violent kid and I was angry with all the qualities that I had. I'm a very proud high school dropout. I promise you that. I'm not saying that you should drop out of school because that's a bad idea. But what I won on 96 and what I got as a Rollier TV is everything that I am, Fanda. This is the nicest part, man. I've seen now with this, like a lot of kids who look up to me with all the trouble that I went through, and I feel. Because somehow it went well, even though I took a shortcut, which is not going to work for all of us. And not all of us are going to be actors and soccer players and TV presenters. Somehow we need to venture into other fields, because like if you can take your 20 rand note and look at it today, you'll see that it's got a black man's signature, which is Utitomboy. The idea is to get more and more black people into now getting the grasp of the rand, so that the more we're into business structures, then the more the country grows with the vision. You understand? Because until we get a hold of your rand, we're still oppressed, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Fanamachita drill out every day. They can see in Tabati move, they know there's gold there, but they never say it really. They get them a penny and stuff. That's how South Africa is. Basically, all being here is very important. And one thing South Africa sort of like forgot to teach Abantwana Soweto or anywhere in the country is the whole issue of being patriots in our country. We know fuck all about the flag. We don't know really much about our history. We know a lot about Cecil John Rhodes, the guys who came to South Africa, the white department. We know a lot about European history. So taking charge and knowing our history is good. Got a letter some time back from this girl. I don't know the rest of the letter, whether there's heebie-jeebie stuff still happening there, but what she said to me was, Zola, what you are is a gift from God, and what you become is a gift to God. Sure. That's what she said to me, and those words really touched me. She gave me a lot of problems in her letter, and I relate to them. Nkulenge Papa Nekabishi, like all of you. I actually slept in a shed for a couple of years. During the days of struggle, I was bounced from one place to another because we came from a rather politically active family. But all of that have made me everything that I am. And I'm telling you, Machita, now that if you believe in everything that you want to do, whether if you wake up and do what my grandma told me, walk tall even though you're hungry and go to school and get your education, you will get somewhere, I promise you. It is that simple. I still remember how I closed the speech in 1996, and I will say the same way. They actually, we not here Kosa at the back. I quote you, and I think they come from a man called John Phillips. He says, the future is not some place we're headed, but one we're creating. The road to it is not found, but made, and the activities of making it changes both the maker and the destination. Basically, the ball is in your court.